Trayce Jackson-Davis did something on the bench today. He didn't play in the game. There was no seats left on the bench. Quentin Post said, "Trayce, can I get that seat?" And Trayce just got up. But he knew he wasn't part of the rotation. And yet the rookie was. They're playing the same position. And he got up and he literally got up and went and stood in the tunnel.
What happened to Trayce Jackson-Davis, the Warriors' second-round pick? After Draymond showed love to him in a post-game interview, I had to make this video because last year he was literally dunking on Victor Wembanyama like it was nothing. And not even just on offense. Trayce Jackson-Davis was making plays on defense. Here's a clip of him going against Giannis, and he blocked him not only one time, but he blocked him twice in the same possession. Now, I know a lot of you guys watching this video are like, well, how is he not playing and he's making all of these highlights? So if you guys stay on the video, I will explain exactly why he's out the rotation and what happened really to Trayce Jackson-Davis. So let's get on to the video. Trayce Jackson-Davis reminds me a lot of John Collins, especially when John Collins first got into the league. Now, Trayce has a lot of glaring weaknesses that I'm going to exploit in this video. One of his biggest weaknesses that I've noticed from watching this game, not only in college but in the NBA as well, is that he forces up a lot of bad shots. He has a bad shot selection. Like, you're going to see in some of these clips where he's heavily contested and he still forces up shots anyway. Like, that's double covered. That's a bad shot, but he makes it because it's college. He gets away with that in college. But see, in the NBA, when you're a 6'9" center, you can't really afford to really shoot like that, bro. You're already an undersized center and you can't shoot. That's another one of your biggest weaknesses is he does not have a jump shot. He doesn't have a mid-range jump shot. He doesn't have a three-point jump shot. He is just looking to score in the paint. And the problem with this is the opposing defenses can just sag off of him because he's clogging up space in the pick and roll game. So as you guys see, Trayce Jackson-Davis has only attempted 3 threes and he's shooting 0% from the 3 in college, bro. And in the NBA, he's terrible from the 3 as well. Now, I'll give credit where it's due. His best year, he did average 20 points per game, and he did average 10 rebounds per game, which is a double-double, with 4 assists and 2.9 blocks. So the potential is there, obviously, for Trayce Jackson-Davis. But I'm going to be honest, it's hard for him to ever get on the floor if he doesn't ever develop a simple mid-range or just a simple three-pointer, bro. And this is what Bam had to learn. Now, Bam always had a mid-range game. That's the difference. This guy doesn't have a mid-range at all. And you can't put him at the 4 spot because, again, he can't shoot. He's just going to clog up space. So he's already undersized for a traditional center. And Trayce also has had injuries as well, bro. When he was a kid and he was 4 years old, he had a skull fracture after an exercise band snapped and hit him in the head. He underwent surgery to repair the fracture, and later at the age of 6, he was accidentally hit in the face with a golf club, resulting in a fractured cheekbone and eye socket. Now here's Trayce when he was younger, and he's kind of a big injury risk because if he gets hit the wrong way, bro, we don't know like how much damage he can take or what have you. He's already dealt with enough damage as a kid. And Trayce this season has been dealing with a lot of injuries. He's had to deal with a sprained right thumb. He had to deal with knee soreness, ankle injuries. And these type of injuries are the reason why he really slid in draft stock, bro. He was a first-round pick, and the Warriors got him late. And the main reason wasn't because he couldn't play basketball. It was because of his injury risk. Now, I've seen Trayce Jackson-Davis this year in the G League, but it was only like one highlight that I could only find. Now, I'm not going to lie, I can't really say too much about his G League experience because I really don't have enough evidence on that type of topic. But players like Clint Capella and Trayce Jackson-Davis, who are just paint merchants, they don't have a mid-range, they don't have a 3-ball. See, players like this are slowly going extinct, bro. You don't see a lot of them anymore, and they're really starting to be out of the league, or they don't play much. Look at Montrezl Harrell. Montrezl Harrell is a prime example. He couldn't shoot. He was 6'8" and a pure paint merchant, and he's out the league. Now, I ain't gonna lie, another reason why he doesn't play as much is because the NBA is running more zone coverage than ever. 18 out of 30 teams this year have been playing zone defense, and there was only 2 teams that ran zone defense back in 2017 and 2018, so it was a big deal. But what if I told you that it's not even just the shooting, which is why Trayce Jackson-Davis has been on the floor? I'm gonna be honest, Steve Kerr has beef with Trayce Jackson-Davis, and I have proof. I just want you guys to just stay on the video and just watch what I'm about to show you guys. So I want you guys to pay close attention to this screenshot right here. The score is 133-95. Final score. And Tuesday, this happened April 8th on a Tuesday. Now pay attention to not only the Phoenix Suns matchup, but the April 8th date, because we're going to come back to this later and I'm going to prove to you guys that Steve Kerr has beef. So let me show you guys this clip. So in this clip, Steve Kerr is telling him not to shoot the three. He goes and shoots the three anyway, and everybody is laughing at him on the bench and roasting him. But Steve Kerr is very, very upset, and he didn't find this funny at all. And this could be a big problem, because what if Trayce Jackson-Davis never really listens to Steve Kerr?
That's all I needed for him to do that, and it became personal with me.
It became very personal for Steve Kerr, because after the Suns game, like I told you guys earlier, he only played 3 minutes in both games. Now, the San Antonio game, I understand. That was a close game. They needed to win that game. They ended up losing because of the Harrison Barnes game when it cool. He's not going to get much minutes in a close game. But what is a little suspicious to me is the fact that Trayce Jackson-Davis didn't get no run in the Portland game. And I say that because the Portland game was a blowout. You guys see the score was 103-86, excuse me. So why didn't Trayce Jackson-Davis play in a blowout? It just doesn't make sense to me, bro. But if you don't have beef with him, it shouldn't make a difference. Now, Trayce Jackson-Davis is the fourth center on the rotation. And the reason for this is because Draymond Green is starting at center now. So with the Butler trade, it moved Draymond to center and it moved Trayce Jackson-Davis a spot behind Looney. Now, in my opinion, I don't think Looney should be the third center, but I'll get into that in just a second. But with Draymond being the big, you got Quentin Post, you got Kevon. This is why he's out of the rotation, because he can't shoot, and it's hard for him to get minutes. Now, in my personal opinion, I don't think Kevon again should be in the rotation, but Steve Kerr loves him, and Steve Kerr is probably showing Kevon a little bit more love because he's been in the system longer. And at the end of the day, Steve Kerr is going to play players that are going to fit well into the system, and he probably feels like Looney is a better fit than Jackson-Davis. I think Jackson-Davis and Looney are the same. They both really can't shoot, but they're both really good rebounders, but Jackson is more athletic. Now let's talk about Quentin Post, because he's also another reason why Jackson-Davis hasn't been playing. I'm sorry for saying but Quentin Post is a very, very good basketball player. He's very smart. He's 7 foot, so he's the tallest center on the lineup. So of course they're gonna give Quentin Post minutes because one, he's 7 foot, and two, he's actually a stretch big that can play, pretty good defense. And this is what the Warriors need to fit in their system. So I'm not mad at the Warriors for playing Quentin Post over Trayce Jackson-Davis because it's well deserved. Anybody can see it. I want you guys to pay attention to this clip. The Warriors are in zone coverage. Franz misses or makes it. I wasn't even paying attention. I ain't gonna lie. But watch how Goga Batadze is jogging, and watch how Quentin Post is already down court, and Goga couldn't find him, and he just gets an easy layup. Like, he just has the intangibles to just do stuff like that, bro. Now, I'm not gonna lie, this is pretty much gonna cap off the video. In summary, Trayce Jackson-Davis just doesn't get any type of minutes because one, he cannot shoot outside of the paint. Two, he's he's a bad free throw shooter as well. I didn't even put that in here. He's a bad free throw shooter, and he has bad shot IQ. So all of these things are what is keeping him off of the floor. Another thing that I've noticed that keeps him off the floor is he's not really a good bat-to-basket scorer, at least not in the NBA, to where he can just dominate somebody. He's just a guy that really scores off of cuts and rolls and putbacks. I mean, that's it. He has no mid-range. Team sag off him, and that's just how it is, bro. Hopefully Trayce can develop his jump shot. I want you guys to let me know down below in the comment section how you feel about this. I'm out. Peace.